Hello YouTubers, we have a lovely day today. Under this beautiful canopy we are going to be working on removing the front bumper from this Lexus LX570. We're going to do that to install a hidden winch mount, which hopefully, if everything goes well, will attach a 12,000 pound winch and mount it all back. Step 1. Torque bit 27. We need to remove the 3 bolts on the fender. 1, 2, and 3. Same thing on the other side. Step 2. Plastic clips. We need to unlock them and pull them out. Same thing on the other side. Now that the other side is unclipped, step 3 is remove the 10mm bolt in the center. After removing the center bolt, we're going to move into step 4. Now step 4 is a bit frightening. Most important thing I would say, we need to unplug the center camera. There's a plug right in the center, fairly easy to remove. The rest of it is held down by clips, 1, 2, 3 on one side, 1, 2, 3 on the other side. After forcing them out, you can remove the center part of the grill. Step 5. Once the grill is removed, it exposes 1, 2, 3 more plastic clips. Remove them just like the ones on top. Now they're free. Step 6. We need to get underneath of the vehicle. There is a plastic wing panel on each side. 10mm bolts. We need to remove them all. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or 3 if you don't have aftermarket skids. Same thing on the other side. Step 7. Once the plastic winglets are removed, we are going to remove all mounting bolts of the bottom of the bumper. There are 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them. Let me remove them now. Done. Step 8. I use these plastic pry bars. We need to push the clips to the side, bottom, center section, and unhook the top part of the bumper. Now the scary part, it won't break, I promise. Pull the skin off the clip of the edge. Once you do that, the bumper is off. Step 9. The bumper is almost completely off. The mechanical bits are. Now we need to remove the electrical connector connecting the front headlights. It's a very tricky connector. What I do is pull the black part out. That releases the white part and allows you to slide the connector out. Step 10, and hopefully this is the final step, disconnecting the water lines for the front sprayers, and the bumper is off. After disconnecting the sprayers, you may have some loss of the windshield washer fluid. My advice is to cap it with your finger and move it up to the highest point to stop it from leaking. The bar reinforcement foam comes off next. It's not attached to anything, very easily removed. Now what we have left is the cross structure reinforcement bar. We're going to have to remove it in order to mount a hidden mount winch plate. Now that a bumper is removed and we are ready to remove the crush structure, I switched my tools, and with a 17mm socket I am ready to remove the 3 bolts on each side. And I know I said bolts, but those are actually nuts. Same thing on the other side. Once these nuts are removed, all you have to do is pull the crush structure off and remove it. Okay, once the crush bar has been removed, those are these horns that we need to expose, because the plate itself is going to mount directly onto the frame behind it. So I switched the socket to 14mm, and we're going to remove 4 nuts on each side. To loosen them up. So I tried to use an electric impact tool, and unfortunately it didn't have enough torque or oomph in order to break the seal on those nuts. Traditional air tools apply. Of course that can be done with a normal socket and a wrench with a bit of an extension in order to create a greater force. And now the horn is off. After removing the left horn, we did the same thing on the right side and removed the right horn. Now we are ready to trial mount the winch plate. And it looks like it fits. I made choose at this point, since we live in the state of Illinois, also known as a part of the Rust Belt, to spray a LPS3 or other component to try to maintain this metal piece rust free for as long as I can. And I'll do that before the installation. Okay guys, last time we were talking, we temporarily attached the mounting plate up to the frame and everything aligned correctly. At that point we realized that it's probably easier to install the winch onto the mounting plate and then put the entire assembly up against the truck, which is what we're going to do. We started off by installation of hardware from the winch down to the plate. So now the winch is attached. We have modified a little bit the control box, because we couldn't mount it in the center due to the bracket divider in between. So we used one of the prongs of the original installation and made up a little bit of a support for the other part. Now we are going to connect all the wiring according to the instruction manual provided by SmittyBilt. Now that connection should be pretty easy, as they're very well marked: A to A, B to B, C to C, and D to D. Once we do that, we are going to mount the entire assembly onto the truck, although we may need to mount the synthetic line before doing that. Okay, after mounting the hardware and mounting the electrical connectors, now we're ready to put the entire assembly onto the frame of the truck, which is what we're going to do. On the count of 3, it is very heavy. 1, 2, 3. Let's pull it up. Aim. I need to go a little higher on my side. All right, I think I'm in. Are you in, Mark?
No.
Okay. Let's lock it with one nut. Whenever I'm ready, I'll let you know. You can do the other side. I think I'm good. There's one behind you.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to tighten them up, and then we're going to start with the electrical connection to the battery in just a second. So our winch is electrically connected and it's working. We tested it and we'll show you guys later on. So everything has been connected. We ran the wiring underneath of the brackets up here and tied them up with zip ties. Ran them through the wall right into the battery. we encountered a little bit of a problem with the spacing. Now, mind you, the winch mount is actually produced for the 200 series Land Cruiser. This is a 200 series Land Cruiser, but it's under the Lexus skin. So the Lexus front bumper might differ a little bit from the 200 series Land Cruiser. The angles, some angles might be slightly different. So we found a solution. We had to massage it a little bit to make it fit and work correctly at an angle of the front bumper. By adding the additional Fairlead from the inside, we'll give it a bit of a spacer that we need to fill in the space, and then the additional Fairlead that came with our winch will be installed on the outside, completing the install. So now that we have found where our bolts are and in the front bumper, we drilled out the holes through the front bumper, and hopefully now we're going to try to put it together and show you guys what the final look, what the final result looks like. Okay, so now that we have the inner Fairlead spacer installed and held by zip ties, that would allow us to put the bumper over it and install the actual Fairlead that will be on the outside of the bumper over. So there you go. As you guys know, we explained very carefully how to take the bumper off. Installation is just removal in reverse. All right, so we have the Fairlead installed. We had a bit of an issue with the spacer, but you know, fighting it for a few minutes, we were able to come out on top. The cutting out of the plastic for the Fairlead was a bit of a combination between construction knife, an oscillating tool, and a couple of drill bits for making the round side openings. All in all, I think it looks good, and we're going to try to feed the synthetic line in. That'll be next. All right, now we've got the beginning of the synthetic line in, and we're going to start the process of spooling it up. Obviously, when we finish all this, we're going to unwind the line and then spool it up one more time under some serious tension. This way we can you know, settle the or line up the steel synthetic rope correctly, and it'll serve its purpose. So let's try to line it up, spool it up for the first time. So this would be our final video for this particular installation. It looks good. We finished it all. It seems to have retained its original bumper and original look outside of the Factor 55 link. And the Fairlead here, it is pretty much stock. Below you can see the parts we had to remove in order for this installation to happen. There is a crash bar that's made out of aluminum, quite heavy actually. The installation horns for that crash bar, and some crush foam. I'm sure with low impact accidents this may help in retaining the shape of the bumper. If you found our video educational, or if it helped you in any way, please subscribe to our channel, as there's going to be more videos coming. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.